Hi, welcome to engVid. I'm Adam. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about writing a personal statement. Now, a personal statement is one of the documents that you will have to submit to a university when you're applying for admission there. Not all schools want it, but most schools do want some form of written document from you to apply with. Now, personal statement is just one type of document, but that's the type I'll talk about today. I'll mention the other types, but that will be a separate video for them because there's a different approach to each one. So before you start writing your personal statement, you have to be ready. Now, what this means is you can't write a personal statement the night before. You can't write it a week before. Some people spend anywhere from 6 months to a year preparing their personal statement. Now, personally, I don't think you need a year. You just need to work hard for a while, but you need more than a week, okay? There's a lot of work to do. I'm going to show you some of the things you need to keep in mind. We're going to look at 6 different things you need to understand about the personal statement. But this is such an important document, such an important piece of paper that you have to spend time on it. You have to know what's involved, okay? So we're going to start with that. First of all, know the parameters. Now, what does this mean? I've seen lots of examples of personal statements where the people did not get onto the school's website and find out what they actually need to do. They didn't look at the instructions. They didn't look at the limits. They didn't look at anything. They just started writing a personal statement, okay? What they didn't understand is what font size can you use. Usually the school will tell you. They will give you some instructions about what you can and can't do, okay? If you think, oh, I don't have enough to write, I'll use a 14 font, a size 14 font to fill up the pages. The admissions committee, the people who read this, they will see a 14 font, whoop, garbage, you're done. You're not getting into this school. They didn't even read one word yet. They saw you couldn't follow instructions. You obviously can't be a good student. Goodbye, okay? Know the font, know the spacing. Do they want double spaced or single spaced? Some of them don't care. They say you can write double or single, but make sure you know. If they want double spaced, send them double spaced personal statement. If they want single, make it single. Some of them will tell you how the margins. They want 1 inch each side. They want 2 inches on the top and bottom, 1 inch on each side. Make sure you format your personal statement the way they want it. If you don't, it means you can't follow instructions. And this is for a personal statement. How are you going to do when your teachers give you instructions, right? You can't follow these basic instructions. You won't follow your teacher's instructions. They don't want you at the school. You're done. They haven't even read your personal statement yet. Now, very, very important. Some of them will give you a word limit. Some of them will say no more than 1,000 words. Some will say no more than 1,250 words. Some of them will say 900 words. Make sure you know what the limit of words is. Now, they might not give you a word limit. They might give you a character limit. Character means like each letter and space and period and comma. Each one of these is a character. A 900 characters usually includes spaces. So make sure when your final draft is ready, you do not have more than 900 characters. Now, again, don't sit there counting each one. Make sure you do this on Word or some sort of word processor that can count for you, okay? And you can look at the top of the tabs in Word, for example, and there'll be a place that says word count. They'll also show you character count. Make sure you don't go over your limit. Some of them will just give you a page limit. No more than 2 double-spaced pages. Okay, no more than 1 single-spaced page. It's almost the same thing. But again, know how much you need to write. Don't go beyond it. If they're giving you 2 pages, don't write half a page. If they're giving you 1 page, don't write a page and a half. Generally, I say anywhere between a page and a quarter to a page and a half should be enough. That's usually the standard. But again, every school will have their own instructions. Make sure you know what they want. Make sure you give them what they want, okay? Now, some of them will just say, write a personal statement. Basically, why do you want to come to this school or why do you want to join this program? Others will give you a very specific question, okay? If they give you a question, make sure you answer that question. Make sure that you construct or organize your personal statement around that question. If you ignore the question, you're ending up in the rejection file. You're not getting admitted. Now, keep in mind, the personal statement is not the only thing they're looking at. But if you have very good grades, very good extracurricular activities, very good volunteering, but you still have a terrible personal statement, all those things might not help you. On the other hand, if you have so-so grades and so-so everything else, but your personal statement is like amazing, that could actually get you into university. Very important document, okay? And sometimes you will have everything the same. Let's say there's 5 seats in a class, in a particular course. There are 10 people. Each of them have basically the same grades, the same experience, the same volunteer experience, etc. What's going to make the difference between who gets in and who doesn't? The personal statement, okay? Don't underestimate the value of this document. Now, the next thing, and this is where a lot of people make a mistake. Do they actually want a personal statement, okay? Or do they want a statement of intent or a statement of purpose, called both ways? Do they want an essay? Do they want a personal statement of intent? Make sure you understand what it is they're asking for. A personal statement and a statement of intent are not the same thing, okay? The way you write this and the way you write this are different, okay? And that's why I said I'll make a different video for the statement of intent, because right now we're just concentrating on the personal statement. So let's take this question and go to the next step. So we're talking about a personal statement. What is the first thing you have to notice about personal statement? First thing you have to notice is that they want a person. It's personal, okay? What they don't want to know is they don't want to know what are you. They want to know who are you. They want to see the person. They want to see the personality, okay? They want to see the person that's going to be coming into their classrooms and interacting with other students, interacting with faculty, interacting with school staff, somebody who can lead, somebody who can work hard and succeed and go on to give the school a good reputation once they enter the working world. So they want to see a person. Now, what does this mean? They want to know your personality. They want to know what have you done or that shows who you are. They don't want to know what's on your transcripts. They see your transcripts. They know what's on your transcripts. Don't tell them that in the personal statement. Again, you can take out highlights. I was in the top 3% of my class in whatever. Sure, that's not on your transcript necessarily. But don't tell them I took this, and that course and I got A's in everything. Yeah, they know. They can see your transcript. Don't tell them that here. They don't want to see a student. They want to see a person. Okay, and I'll say that many times. If you have to submit a CV or a resume, don't tell them what you've done in terms of work or volunteer experience. They can see it in the resume. They can see it in the CV. Show them the person, don't show them the worker. Show them the person, don't show them the student. Okay? All of that, they have other documents for. Again, all they want to see is the person. Now, you're asking, okay, yeah, I understand you. You've said it enough times. But I can tell you that I've said it to people 10 times and they still didn't do it. Very, very important to make sure they see a person, okay? They want to see uniqueness. They want to see some sort of imagination, okay? They want to see creativity. If you go online, if you do a Google search or a Bing or Yahoo or whatever search engine you use, and you just put personal statement samples, the internet is full of them. Read some of these. You will read examples of what not to do, and you will read examples of what to do. I once read a sample of a girl who got into all the Ivy League schools. How did she organize her personal statement? She basically put all her information into a story about going to Costco. For those of you who don't know, Costco is a huge supermarket in the States and Canada and everywhere. She compared her life and she compared her academic career and her work experience to a shopping trip to Costco. Now, you're thinking, well, that's a little bit strange. Yeah, it is a little bit strange, but it worked. And what did it show the most? That she was thinking outside the box. So this is very important. Think outside the box. Be creative. Be original. Be fresh. The people who are going to be reading your statement, they're going to be sitting in a room. They're going to have a stack of statements, okay? It's extremely boring work, but they have to do it. And the more boring your personal statement, the more average it is, the more bland it is, the more unoriginal it is, the more tired you're making them and a little bit more angry you're making them. Don't make them angry. Give them something fresh. Wake them up. As soon as you've woken them up, you already have an advantage in your admissions process. Okay? Very, very important. Be a person. Don't be a student. Don't be a worker. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more about how you should do this, especially the introduction paragraph is super important. We're going to talk about that soon enough. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, time, right? So your next step is to plan. Now you have to plan your overall approach to the personal statement. So what you have to do is you have to find your theme or your arc. This is an arc, basically, right? So this is what is holding your whole personal statement together, and then all the information is going to come under the arc, and it's all connecting to one central idea. And that's why I also call it a theme. Like if you're into sports, that could be your theme. If you're a refugee from somewhere and you're looking for a better life and you're looking for a second chance, that's your theme. Or another way to look at it is you're in. The one thing that lets you into the story, and then you build your story from there, right? Very, very important to have this theme. You're not going to just list down random information. You're going to tell a story, okay? And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the plot of the story of who you are. And you're going to present that to the admissions committee, the people reading it. Again, I can't stress this enough. Take time to do it. And you'll be surprised. I've helped lots of students write personal statements, okay? And it's amazing to me, like they always send me their first draft, and I almost always send them back an email and I say, yeah, we're gonna have to start from the beginning because you're not doing what a personal statement is. You're not telling me a story. You're giving me facts. A lot of the facts which I can get from your other documents, okay? So we're gonna start from scratch. And what I do is I create a list of questions for them. And what you can do is create a list of questions for yourself. But be very broad with your questions, okay? Make sure you ask all the who, what, when, where, how, which, etc. Why? Why do you want to come to this school? Why do you want to study this? When did you know you want to study this? So you're applying, for example, to medical school, okay? Why are you applying to medical school? Why do you want to be a doctor? Did somebody push you to be a doctor? Did you ever have an experience at a doctor's office where you came out and you said, you know what? This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do with my life. What is that point in your life that light bulb switched on and you realized this is what you want to study? If you're going into business, why? Why do you want to go into business? Do you want to be rich? Okay, good. You're not going to say that on your personal statement. What you can say is, why do you want to be rich? Do you want to make lots of money so that you can help poor people? Do you want to make lots of money so you can control the world? Do you want to be president? Always ask one more question. Whatever your answer is, go a little bit more. Again, very important. I want you to dig deep into yourself. Don't be afraid of asking yourself these questions, okay? Now, when I help students write a personal statement, I send them minimum 15 questions, sometimes 30 questions. And I'm not going to use all the answers in the personal statement. I'm not going to ask them to do that. But I want them to think. I want them to find that little piece of information, that little piece of their history to build a story around, okay? I want them to find their theme, okay? Ask non-typical questions. So yeah, don't say, why do you want to be a doctor? Okay, obviously, that's a question you need to think about, but I want you to think, why do you want to help people? Why does seeing somebody sick become unsick make you feel good? How does it make you feel good? What situation, what example, what experience in your life has helped you understand that feeling about yourself? Okay, lots of questions. Give non-typical answers to typical questions. Even if you're in your list of questions, you have very typical questions. Why do you want to go to this school? Look for non-typical answers. Why do you want to go to MIT? Well, yeah, it's the best technical school in the world. But why MIT? Why this particular school? There are lots of good technical schools. Well, MIT has on campus, they have this particular building where you can do this, that, and that. Be very, very specific with your answers. Now, all the details you're going to collect are going to help you come up with your theme, with your arc, the one thread that goes through all this information and connects it all together. The one thing that helps you create a story, okay? Because again, they have your transcript, they have your CV, they want to know who you are as a person, okay? Think of it like this. When you get to university, you're going to meet lots of new people. You're going to meet new classmates, new teachers, new people who are not your classmates but go to your school and your dormitory. You'll meet them at the cafeteria, whatever. You're going to start interacting with people. People are going to want to know, who are you? Do I want to be friends with you? Why do I want to be friends with you? Well, tell them here. Tell them in the personal statement. Make the admissions committee people want to be friends with you because you're a special person, okay? And don't think, one last point before I go on. Everybody thinks they're special, which is fine. Everybody is special. But if everybody is special, nobody is special, right? So don't assume that everybody is basically different and you're the one special one, okay? Another thing that a lot of people forget, and I forgot to mention this before too, you're not the only one applying. The admissions committee is reading a lot of these things. What makes you stand out? Okay, what makes you different from the other people? So I had one student, she was applying to a program that on average every year they had 700 people applying, 700 applicants for 25 seats in the program. So one of the questions I asked her, what makes you better, or what makes you more qualified, or what makes you a better candidate than 675 other people? Okay, that's what she had to think about and come up with an answer as best she could, and then we worked through it and got her theme. Okay, now you have your plan, you have your theme, you're ready to go. Are you going to start researching the school? Not yet. You can start thinking about your introduction. All the other details will come later because I want you to establish your theme. I want you to establish your story. That's happening in the introduction, okay? The introduction is what is going to make or break your personal statement. This is where you catch the reader's attention, you hold it, and make them want to go on to read the other important information. So you need a hook. You need that first sentence to just grab the reader's attention and hold it. And that comes in the first sentence. Now, I've seen lots of personal statements where somebody says, my name is Bill Smith and I really want to go to your school. No. Terrible sentence. Why? A, they have your whole application package. They know your name. They know you want to apply to this school because you sent an application. They know you want to go here. Don't tell them the obvious. You're writing a story, grab their attention, give them something unique. Okay, I had I helped one person write a statement. I found out she liked sports. That was her hook. We started straight with the sports analogy. What makes successful people successful in sports? It's their ability to win. It's their ability to play in a team and to strategize, to have a target and work hard to reach it. Again, I'm obviously paraphrasing here, but that's the key point. We use sports as her theme. Sports is a very good theme, by the way, if you're into sports. But again, if you're going to use sports, make sure that your CV has a lot of sports stuff on it. She was on 2 university teams, so it was very good. I think she was captain of one and won a championship with the other. Now, what should you not do? So again, don't state your name. Don't state your hometown. Don't state your area of study. My name is Bill Smith. I'm from Florida and I study economics. They know all that. Don't waste words and time in your personal statement. Now, if any of this information is part of your story, let's say your name is, you have some strange name from your country. Let's say you're a non-English speaker. Your name in your country is a regular everyday name, but when you come to America, your name is very strange, okay, or has a different meaning. So that name is part of what shapes your personality here. It's part of what your experience as a person. Then yes, talk about your name, but again, don't say my name is. Make sure that that name has a link to your overall personality and your overall goals. Same with hometown. If you're from a country, like if you're a refugee from a country, then yeah, you can say I'm from this place and I had to run away from here to start a new life here. And this is why I'm applying, etc. If this information is relevant to the story of who you are, use it. If it's not, leave it out. If it's just plain information, they don't need it. They already have it, okay? And even if it is part of your story, try to incorporate it a little bit later in the essay, in the body, or if it's central, then yeah, use it in the introduction as well. Don't state your interest in the school. Again, you applied. They know, okay? Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but I do have to say it. Don't flatter them. I'm applying to your school because you guys are the best in the world and you have the best teachers and the best graduates, and I want to be a part of that. They don't need to know that. They know. They know how good they are. Yes, you can mention rankings. You can mention how good the state-of-the-art equipment and the reputation in the body. Don't do it in the introduction. Don't flatter them. Don't fawn. Don't, I so much want to go to MIT. It's such a great school. I love you guys. You're the best. No, they don't need to know any of that. They know they're the best. That's why you're applying there. Do not beg. I really, really need to come to your school because if I don't, my parents will kill me. They don't care. And you're not getting into this school because if that's your main reason for coming here, you're not going to be a good student. You're coming here because you have something to offer them. Don't make it like they have something to give you. It's always about you helping the school, not the other way around, okay? The school needs to want you to come there. Because why? Because you have something to offer. You're a leader. You're going to make your classmates work harder. You have fresh ideas. You're going to help everybody be better. If you're saying, I want to come there, I want to improve my English, I want to get the best degree in the world, I want to make lots of money, you're not getting into this program. Okay? Don't plead, which basically means the same as beg, please, please, please. Don't explain anything. If you had a bad score in one of your grades, don't explain it in the introduction. You can bring it up later as part of the story. It could be like I had somebody in my family passed away, or somebody in my family became really sick and I had to take care of them, which is why this particular class I did badly in because I didn't have time to study. But then after everything was resolved, you'll notice that my marks went straight back up to A's. So it was a difficult time, but it made me stronger. Again, take the bad, make it into good, but don't give an excuse. Nobody wants excuses. They want results, okay? Don't justify anything. Don't say that, oh, my school isn't the best in the country, but my school doesn't have the best reputation, but I promise you that I'm a very good and hard worker. Don't tell them that. Show them that. And we'll talk about show, don't tell. Again, don't give excuses, any of that stuff. And I'm just going to mention very quickly, whatever your theme is and whatever your introduction is, make it in such a way that when you get to your last paragraph, your conclusion paragraph, you can somehow tie it all together and make like a nice tight circle, and you have a nice package, a full, complete story. Okay? So, we know what a POS is, we know what our instructions are, we know how to plan, we have our introduction more or less lined up, we have our theme. What's next? Okay, so now we're going to look at the next couple of points. Now, before I go on, the thing about the introduction, once you've more or less written it, you have your idea, your theme, you've put it into it in a way that you can start your essay, your personal statement, you're not done with it. This is not the final draft. This is just to get you an idea, so then you can go on to the next part. You're going to do research, and this is very, very important. I mean, every step is very important, but this is super important because the school needs to know that you know why you're applying to this school. I hope that makes sense. They don't want you to apply because you're applying to every program in every school in the country that offers it. You're applying to this program for a reason. Now, how are they going to understand that you really want to come to this program? Because you will know what you're talking about when you're applying. You will do the research. You will read everything on the website about the school and about the program. You're not going to read the pages of the other faculties because it's not important. But about the school in general, about the students, about the general place itself, the campus life, where it is, why it's famous, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and of course everything about your area of study you're going to read about. And you're going to read other things. You're going to read the rankings, okay? Where does this school rank in the world or in the country for this particular program? You're going to read reviews, like what do ex-students say? What do other people say about this school, about this program? You're going to read whatever news you can find about this school and this program, okay? Throughout your research, you're going to collect keywords. Now you have to pay attention. What words keep coming up in this particular school? What words do you see regularly on the website? What words do you see regularly when this program is discussed, right? Make a collection of these. You're going to try to use some of these words in your personal statement. That's how they know that you know what you're talking about. That's how they know that you've done the research. You can say, and a lot of people say this, I really want to go to your school because you have state-of-the-art equipment and you're world famous. Really? How do you know that? You can say that about most schools these days, right? Don't tell me, show me. So this is a very key idea in writing. Don't tell me anything. Show me. Show me that you understand. Show me that you know something about the school. Don't say, oh yeah, I know about your school. Okay, anybody can say that. Not everybody can show that they know something. Get those keywords, make sure you use them. If you're going to talk about state-of-the-art equipment or state-of-the-art laboratories, show me that you have a real concrete example. Like this particular school has the new whatever system. Put that into your personal statement so they know that you have done some research, okay? What is their pride and joy, okay? When this school promotes itself, what's the thing that they concentrate on the most? What makes them the most proud of themselves? What makes them very happy to talk about themselves? Find that out. Make sure that you incorporate that into your writing, okay? Again, all you're doing is you're showing them that you have done the research and you have a real reason to apply there. It's not just because you're applying to every school hoping to get into one, okay? And never mention that that's what you're doing, if that's what you're doing. Incorporate all this into your theme. Now, you're not going to just randomly throw all this information into your personal statement. You're going to connect it to the part of the story that is you, okay? How do these ideas, how do these keywords connect to your personal story? And again, never forget, even once you're past the introduction, never forget that this is still a personal statement. This is still a story of who you are. And you're connecting yourself to the school. You're showing how your story and the school's story are compatible. Okay, that's what you're trying to show them. Your story makes you a good fit for this school. That's why you have something to offer them. And of course, they have something to offer you. Make sure that relationship is clear. Make sure that compatibility is clear, okay? Then, once you have all this, go back to your introduction, rewrite it in a way that's going to set up the rest of the information that's going to come in the body of the personal statement. Make sure your introduction is brief. Don't make it too long. Don't give too many details. Brief. Establish the hook. Establish the story. Make it impressive, and then get into the details. Now, one thing you can do, once you have your theme in the introduction, and you know all the things you want to mention in your body, then create a sort of storyline that you can connect. Each paragraph has a different point. So this is your main theme, and then there's a sub-theme, sub-theme, sorry. And then you can connect all the information that you learned about the school and all the information about yourself into that sub-theme, into those sub-themes and the story. Let's say you've done all this. And again, I'm making it much more simple than it is. You need to see a lot of sample statements to know how to write them well. I'm not going to talk to you about grammar. I'm not going to talk to you about sentence structures, about vocabulary. Again, remember, this is not an English test. This is a test to see your ability to express yourself. But again, it's more about showing who you are. But having said that, when you finish writing it, okay, that is your first draft. you will have many drafts. You shouldn't submit anything until you've gone at least 4, 5, 6 drafts deep, okay? You're going to rewrite, you're going to edit, and then you're going to edit some more, and then you're going to edit some more. And then you're going to give it to a friend that you trust or to a professional, somebody who you know can look at it and see all the things that you missed and give you feedback. And then you're going to rewrite and then you're going to edit some more, okay? Now, you're going to have many drafts. By the end, you should have 0 spelling mistakes, 0 grammar mistakes, 0 punctuation, capitalization, word usage, 0 mistakes anywhere. Because any mistake shows carelessness. And you don't want to be careless. You want to be meticulous. You want to be perfect so that they know that you took this very seriously and you're going to put the same effort into your studies. At the end of the day, schools want to admit students who will succeed. Because when the student succeeds, the school succeeds. When you graduate from the school and you go get a good job and you start making connections and networking all over the place, and people ask you, oh, where did you go to school? And you say, oh, I went to this school. This school looks good. Okay? That's what they want. They want you to be successful and then go promote them because they made you successful. Okay? Show them that you're not careless. Have 0 mistakes in it. And again, make every single word work for you. Every word should have a purpose. Every sentence should be saying something, should be moving the story along, should be creating a full picture of who you are, what you can offer to the school, why you think the school can offer you something in return, and the relationship you're going to have. And ideally, find someone you trust, someone who's good with the language, who's good at writing, good with English. Get them to put fresh eyes on this thing. You will read this thing 100 times, 200 times. Mistakes, you're not going to see them. Because you've read it so many times, you know in your head what should be there. If it's not there, you're not going to see it anymore. Get somebody with fresh eyes to read it for you, give you feedback, make corrections, etc. And then again, rewrite, edit, edit, edit. Don't be afraid to hire a professional editor, okay? There are people, there are agencies that do only this. Again, it might not be very cheap, but it's worth it because this is basically the story of you. This is what the admissions committee is going to decide your future on. This piece of paper, okay, or this statement. Make sure it's perfect. Make sure it's telling a story. Make sure it's impressive. Now, I'll give you an example. I helped a young woman apply to medical school, okay? So she sent me her first draft. And I told her, no, we have to start from scratch. Here's a list of questions. Answer me. From all the answers that she sent me, I helped her write, a completely new personal statement. Because there was information in there that was super valuable that she didn't even think to include. She didn't think to include the sports that she was participated in. Her grandmother was the first woman to graduate from medical school in her original country. That is very important. Why? Because it shows that you have a legacy to live up to. It shows that you come from a family where education is very important. It shows that you're determined. You want to live up to your grandmother's reputation. You want to be the next in the line of family members who accomplish something. It shows determination. The school, the admissions committee, they want to see that you're determined, that you're motivated, that you're going to succeed. This story helps them see that because you have a reason to do it, right? She didn't even think to include this originally. I helped her include that in her story. So get somebody to give you feedback. It's very, very important, okay? Now, if you go to engvid.com, there's a quiz there, although it's not really a quiz. It's more of a review of the main steps you have to keep in mind. Go there. So think of it as a checklist of what you need to do when you're preparing your personal statement. Now, a lot of you who are watching this video are not applying to university. You're not going to apply to university. But keep in mind that all the points made here can and do apply to you. If you're applying to a job and you have to send a CV or a resume and a cover letter, the cover letter is the same idea. You have to sell yourself. You're not selling the resume. They will look at your resume. They will get all the details of your experience. The cover letter is where you show them a person, okay? Treat it the same way as the personal statement. Show them a person, show them why they want you, okay? Why they need to hire you, why they would be losing if they didn't hire you. What can you offer them and what can they offer you? Make sure that relationship is clear. And that's why all of these notes apply to lots of people out there, okay? If you have any questions, please go to engVid again. There's a comment section. You can also visit my website, editorproof.com. You can find out more information about what you need to do with a personal statement or if you need some help with that. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube and come again soon for more good videos. I'll see you then.